Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 97% show, where we keep it real. Today, we have a very interesting topic to discuss with you guys, and we equally hope that at the end of the day, you guys will share your opinions with us on this issue. We want to talk about domestic violence. I came across this video on social media, and this lady made some points that took me aback. A little bit surprised, well, not too surprised, but there are some things which I could say I agree or disagree with her. I think more of disagree. So I'd like us to watch it together, and then let's hear what you guys think about some of the things she's talking about. Let's take a look, please.
Stand for both men and women. Domestic violence have been overrated by women. Women have now seen it and used it as a weapon to fight the men because they understand that the society frowns at it. But there is one constant research that we have not done. One constant lie that we have continually lied to ourselves. What causes domestic violence? Some people will say, oh no, there is nothing a woman should do that should make a man hit her. No matter what, no matter we get this every day, but that's a lie we continually tell ourselves. Because people who come public to constantly tell you this lie also beat their women. 65% to 70% of women trigger domestic violence. Yes, I said it. Women trigger domestic violence. 65% of them do. How do they trigger domestic violence? Verbal abuse. They abuse these men mentally.
Okay, so I haven't listened to her. She says, she mentioned a couple of things. Women trigger domestic violence. And she says people should not make the argument that no matter what a woman does, you shouldn't hit her. That people should not make that argument. And she equally says that those
violence has been overrated. Women are
domestic
overrated.
violence
There are
is
some
overrated.
lies which
Yeah.
are chosen to just keep believing.
Yeah, and she said that there's this thing she mentioned about we keep telling ourselves this lie that that the people who say that, who come on social media and speak up against domestic violence, are the same people who go back at home and hit their wives or girlfriends.
Yeah.
So I think she alluded to something like that. So let's start with you, person.
Yeah.
Do you agree with what she's saying or postulating? I don't know. I think she's saying, she's not postulating.
Yeah. This is what I would say. She has given her opinion. I'll give mine. Violence is a physical violence. It's a very delicate and sensitive, sensitive topic. And for no reason whatsoever should a woman or a man, because there are women that beat men, should a woman or man lay his or her hands on the other person. And I understand that the people could push others to the wall. I understand that some women, for instance, since it's peculiar to women. Women they could be nagging, they could be very tempting, but I stand for no reason whatsoever. It's enough to beat a woman. Secondly, I think that as women, as a woman, I'm talking for women. I think as a woman, we should the degree of self-control we want men to adopt, we should adopt that same degree, because I mean you cannot keep violence. I think violence is an accumulation. When a man lifts up his hand to, if he's not a man beater, when he lifts up his hand to beat a woman, it's an accumulation of grievances.
Every man who hits a woman is a man beater.
It's a woman beater.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Whether one time or 10
Yeah.
times.
Whether
or
one time or 10
times.
times.
Yeah.
So,
Nothing justifies.
but there's some men that are going to
domestic
tell you
violence
that
for
I've given a woman a slap, and they're fine. The relationship is going on well. If you,
general-
That doesn't mean you're not a woman beater.
Honey.
You beat a woman.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step.
It begins with a
You
step.
start with a slap, and before we know it, you're wounding her head.
For me personally, weak men hit women. If you're strong enough, there are so many ways to solve that problem. It's just like war, conflict. You see, if you look at it most often than not, after all the fighting, they go back to the table and dialogue.
Yes.
Imagine that they decided to start by just having that
Dialogue,
conversation
yeah.
which they were having after
Yeah.
killing so many people.
But that's the thing
it's the
about
same
temperament.
thing. It's the same thing. Now, if you understand this as a man, that after hitting her, you're gonna go back to that conversation of, oh, I'm sorry I hit you, but why did you do this? And you're gonna have that conversation. Why didn't you just have that conversation first?
Another person
That's the
is going
thing
to
about
say that.
about
Another
people and
person is
their
going to say that
temperament, right?
he was just being human. You
Yes.
acted out of control.
Look,
That's one
your
thing about people
emotions
and their
took over,
temperament. You act
like that.
like this when you're
Look,
angry.
You snap out
Yes,
of
you
it.
just
and-
snap out of yourself and then get back to yourself. after
Sometimes
you've
a
done
child does something and you just
Yeah.
hit the child, right? This is not something like, we are not talking about something that a woman did or just said out of the blue and then you just like, and then you hit her. Even then, like for me, the last time I hit someone of the opposite sex,
Oh, you've done?
yeah, when I was in primary school, that's
Okay,
when, before.
yes,
and that was my
that
cousin.
doesn't count,
That was
but
my
all of us
cousin.
have
No, let me tell you what happened. How I came to this decision.
All right.
I don't know what she did, but we got into a fight, a scuffle, because we were more or less mates.
Alright.
And I hit her on the stomach, and she fell down. And I remember my uncle who was at home beat the daylight out of me that day.
Yeah.
Besides him beating me, that moment when I saw her struggling, like I play football, I don't know how you guys did. There is this punch or this hit or the ball can hit you sometimes you need to sit and
feel
wait
like
for
your
your
organs are
body.
upset.
Good.
Okay.
So I think that was what she went through. And after that day
Yeah.
in primary 4
Mhm.
in Kambe, I told myself I'm never ever gonna lay my hand on a woman,
That was a
no
good
matter
decision.
what
Okay.
happens.
I think
I
what
want
you're
to
trying to say
think-
is when you think of the consequences of that action, you restrain yourself.
It helped. Yeah, that's one
You
way.
know,
So-
not everybody has had a situation where they have to think of consequences.
Yeah, yeah.
He
Mhm.
learned from
Exactly.
something he did.
Very
He
young,
learned a
by the
lesson,
way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some people might not have found themselves there. But I just want to think that if you respect that other person enough, you will not think of raising your hand to hit them, no matter the
My
circumstances.
parental place.
Don't just be too quick to raise your hand. People who are too quick to raise their hands at anyone can find themselves in that kind of situation.
Yeah.
Respect people enough to not want to hit. Be mature. Childish and, in fact, like you said, weak people. People suffer from some complex of
Complex.
sorts. People who suffer from self-defeatism
Yeah.
are the ones who are quick.
Some people would say that they express their anger only through violence.
You can be violent on other
it's
things.
easy to do that through
Yeah,
violence
and
if you have not
almost-
spent some time in jail for that or some other things.
Split
Okay.
some wood, do some push-ups, do
Oh,
something.
That's it.
Transfer your energy, direct it, redirect it.
There
to
is a
something
wall
else.
in your house or a stick outside. Go hit it if you think
I would
violence is
say,
wrong.
I would
something.
say again that when you're pushed to the wall, the animalistic tendency
Comes out.
comes
Yes,
out.
of
Yeah.
course.
Yes.
You're bound to
So
manifest.
exactly,
But
you're
you
bound
don't
to
let your
manifest.
emotions rule over you.
No.
What we're trying, what I'm
There
trying
is
to
the
say
head and
is,
heart.
unlike what this lady is saying, it's almost like saying women trigger this. Women like that statement. I don't. That's crap.
No.
That's crap. As
Women
far as I'm
trigger
concerned.
words for
I don't know. Like
yeah.
I'm just trying to picture the situation in my mind. Like my wife, she's shouting, she's all over my face and all this, and my only
only
solution
thing
is
I
to
do is
hit
hit
her.
her.
Really?
Ah,
Really?
please.
Then
Would I hit her if she had a gun and she was pointing at me and it's loaded?
I
Would I
don't
hit
even
her?
I don't even
We
need
have
her to have
exceptions,
a
we have
gun.
exceptions.
No, I'm just saying, to show that you're that strong, the only way I can solve your problem is to hit you, right? She had a loaded gun pointed at you and she's screaming. Will you stretch your hand to hit her?
No,
She's
you
gonna shoot you.
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course
You
not.
So
will.
why don't
But-
you find another solution? If you can find a solution because she has a gun pointed at you, why
Then
don't
you
you
should.
just try to
I'm not
factor
even
this
thinking
into your
about
mind?
guns or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Just scrap that.
And then another
Domestic
thing.
violence is nothing justifies.
There's no
domestic
justification of
violence.
whether it's a man, a
Nothing.
woman hitting a man because I do
There
know
is
a
none
case.
whatsoever.
This man, the woman, the wife used to, well, we're told back in the day, where again, that was when we were in Canada, some more than 15 years ago, that she used to use a charm in controlling the man or something. And
Okay.
there was a certain thing about the man traveled to Bamenda, the woman traveled to Bamenda and the charm expired or whatever. But this man lost it.
Yeah.
And he put his kids, the kids he had with this man in a car with a gas bottle. He was ready, he was going to kill them.
Uh-oh.
Burn the woman's thing. I mean, my parents
Those
had to
are
intervene. My parents had to
extraordinary
intervene to
exceptions.
save this kid.
His
So-
kids.
Yes.
Excuse you. His kids.
Let's not go about
The
it.
kids-
Let's not
the
go down to the
kids were
detail.
made-
Let's
were
not go
made
down to. I don't want to
from
go down
a
to
spell,
the
out of a
details.
spell. So
I don't know
probably
whether
it
they
was
made out
not-
of what. Let's
it
not
is
go down to the
normal,
details.
Yeah.
But this is just to tell you that when you think violent, even when you realize that, Oh my God, so all these years I've been working and suffering, and this woman who got this job for me told me my salary was 100,000 francs, and she has been taking 500,000 francs every month for the past 40 years. And you think that by realizing this, the only solution is violence, you're getting
I think
it
there
wrong.
is so much to say about this topic.
There
Maybe
is.
our followers or viewers
Yeah.
should tell us what they think about this
Exactly.
Yeah,
domestic
tell us
violence.
what you think.
Give us your opinions, you know, let's all know. Let's interact.
Do
Talk to
women
us.
trigger violence?
Bring people, subscribe, like, follow us. Tell people to subscribe. Bring more people. We need more brains to brainstorm on this whole thing, this domestic violence thing. What do you think? And I also think that when you do your subscription, hit the notification bell so that when there's a new video, you will be notified.
Exactly.